And joining me now is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer, co-chair of the Biden re-election campaign. Governor, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for being with us. It's a real pleasure to see you again. We've seen record-breaking heat, and so the climate portion of the law could not be more timely. So talk to me about the investments. What are you seeing so far in Michigan and then nationally?
Let me just tell you, I'm here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, and it's 80 degrees, which is unusual, but we know that climate is real, and that's why this president has ushered in so many incredible efforts to onshore supply chains, to bring costs down for American families, and to make sure that the United States of America is where innovation and manufacturing is happening. And we're seeing it all across the country. So this president's work has really made people's lives better. I know that it is challenging, but with our inflation rate low and our unemployment rate low as well, it's working. It's making people's lives better, and we're feeling it here in Michigan and every part of this great state.
So arguably, this legislation would not have passed without the support from West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, but he has told the White House he's not going to attend the ceremony today. And instead, he issued a statement really escalating his criticism. He said that the administration is trying to undermine energy security by implementing what he today calls a radical climate agenda. What's your response to that?
Listen, I'm not going to respond to a particular U.S. senator. I've got nothing bad to say about him. I will just say this. If you look at the map across the country right now, it's undeniable what's happening with climate, and it's expensive and it's deadly. And that's precisely why our president has focused on ensuring that we are responsible stewards of our natural resources and bringing down our impact on climate, but also making it easier for Americans to participate in the transition that's happening, whether it is EV tax credits or it is onshoring supply chains so that we are doing the clean energy jobs right here at home, making it easier for Americans to get affordable energy to their homes and for businesses to thrive at the same time of being responsible leaders in the world. So I am proud of what this president's been able to accomplish, but we cannot stop now. We've got to throw our foot down on the accelerator.
Despite the economic progress and the lowering of inflation and what has been done, spades in the ground on a lot of these projects, despite all of that, here you've got Donald Trump, a former president, in so much legal trouble, 4 indictments, and yet a New York Times Siena College poll of a hypothetical matchup between him and the president, he's tied 43-43 with President Biden. That poll was taken before this last indictment.
So, Andrea,
that's got to be frustrating to you as a co-chair and to the White House.
Well, a year ago, people were writing my political obituary, and I won by 11 points and flipped both chambers of our legislature in Michigan, something that hadn't been done in 40 years. At the end of the day, voters are not stupid. They are very smart. They know who's really working to improve the quality of their lives, who's working to codify rights instead of taking them away from people, who's working to make sure that all people in this country can get on a path to prosperity. So ultimately, that's how elections are decided. I'm confident that what this president has done is inuring to the benefit of Americans' lives. And as we get closer to the election, that will drive how votes are. But we take no one for granted. That's why the work that he has done, the focus on all people and creating paths to prosperity and making America a friendly place to do business and to grow jobs, that's what's important. That's what's going to ensure we help every person achieve what they want to be able to take care of their families and enjoy a high standard of life at a low cost of living. And that's precisely why I think the president will continue to tell the story of what he's accomplished. But it's so big and there's so much to it that sometimes it's a hard story to tell. But people in this country are smart. They know what's working. They know who's focused on them. And I think ultimately that's what's going to determine the next election. And I feel very good about what this president has accomplished.
I'm sure you in Michigan hear what we hear in Washington, and I hear when I travel, that many Democrats, supporters of Joe Biden's, are nervous about this. And there's talk. This is what happened on Meet the Press just this past weekend. Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips of Minnesota, a supporter of the president's in the past, says that President Biden should pass the torch to a younger, different Democrat. And I want to just play some of what he said because he talks about you.
I would like to see a moderate governor, hopefully from the heartland, from one of the 4 states that Democrats will need.
So let's see, Gretchen Whitmer. You'd like to see her, or is it Tim Walz, your home state governor, Tony Evers? Help me out here.
You just said a few names I think would be great. Joe Biden right now is down 7 points in the 4 swing states that will decide the next election.
What do you say to reassure Democrats?
Well, listen, you know what? I'm supporting the president because he's got a record, he's gotten things done, and he cares about the average person. I was with Governor Walz and Governor Evers last weekend, and I can tell you we had a lot of conversations about how the agenda's got to be communicated because he's got an incredible amount of work done. I am proud to be supporting President Biden. I am proud to be on the campaign for re-election, and I know that when this story hits more people and they understand what's happened and they see the cost of their insulin going down, which this president championed and got done, as just one of many examples of how life's getting better for people in this country. I think it's going to be very clear that this president should be reelected or do this work for another 4 years. And he's got my support as well as a lot of those moderate Democratic governors because we see what he has done. We know how it's been improving the quality of life for the people we serve, and we got to continue doing this. We can't go backwards in this country.
Now, I know Michigan was out front in going after the fake electors with Dana Nassel and the case that you brought there. And what's your reaction to Georgia and the DA going after the fake electors in that broad indictment of not just the president, but 18 co-defendants?
Well, I am a lawyer, but I'm not a criminal attorney, and I can tell you I'm watching the process play out. I know, as someone who's been targeted by people that were intent on hurting me, we have to have confidence in our justice system, and it will play itself out. I can just say this. We have an opportunity to get 4 more years out of a man who has dedicated his life to public service, who has done more work to improve people's lives than most who are in public service. And that's precisely why, at the end of the day, I have confidence that Joe Biden will get a second term and an opportunity to continue this work. But we take nothing for granted. We take no person for granted. Every person in this country is important. Every person deserves a path to prosperity and a leader who's not serving themselves, but serving the public. And I think that's the juxtaposition of what we've seen, unfortunately, in today's politics. And it's why this is another very consequential election coming up next year.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer, thank you so much from the beautiful Upper Peninsula of Michigan, one of the most beautiful parts of the country. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today. We appreciate it.